Hello, it's Jim Hutchins for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. There is a myth that the Palestinians have sought to promote for several years now. And it's basically that there is no evidence that there was a Jewish temple on the Temple Mount. The Palestinians have sought to destroy the artifacts that would demonstrate that. But we have the Word of God, and we know from the Scriptures that there was a temple. Jesus walked in that temple. He taught in that temple. His disciples were there. It was destroyed in AD 70 by the Romans, but it will be returned. It will be rebuilt. There will be a temple that will go up, that the Antichrist will occupy. But the myth that the Palestinians have sought to pursue and promulgate during these several years has been challenged. And at the outrage of many of the Islamic imams, an Egyptian scholar, an Islamic Muslim scholar, has challenged the notion that the Palestinians are the only occupants of the Temple Mount. In an Egyptian television interview, the renowned scholar of Arabic and Islamic studies, Yosef Zaidan, made these points. His main point has been to say that there's actually no connection between Jerusalem and the ancient Islam. No connection between Jerusalem and Islam. When Islam was founded during the 7th century, he says, Jerusalem was a holy city to the Jews, while the Mosque of Omar was not even built until 74 years after Muhammad's death. The reason it was built, Zaidan says, is because the builder wished to detract from the centrality of Mecca in Islam. Jerusalem was not known as Al-Quds as it is known today by the Palestinians, and as they've raised their children to believe this lie as well. Jerusalem was not known as Al-Quds, namely the city of the sanctuary, during Muhammad's times. Al-Aqsa is not ours, he emphasizes. And though the word comes from the word extreme, it does not refer to the far mosque on the Temple Mount, but rather to a mosque that is the further, quote, further, of two mosques in Mecca. According to Zaidan, Muslims are purposely and falsely turning a political struggle between Israel and the Arabs into a religious one. The religious aspect of the conflict is nonsense, says Professor Zaidan. The only reason why Muslims insist on the sanctity of Jerusalem is purely and simply politics. Not only did Muhammad never mention the city in the Quran, but later when Muslims conquered the Holy Land, they totally ignored Jerusalem and established their capital in Ramleh. And the writer of the article closes by saying, today, once again, it is often overlooked that as recently as 1964, the original PLO charter did not even mention Jerusalem. Jerusalem is never mentioned in the Quran. It's a myth, it's a lie. But the truth will prevail. And we know from the Scriptures time and time again where God has declared that this place, this Temple Mount, will be the place where His name is exalted, magnified, glorified forever. Jesus ascended from the Mount of Olives. He will return to the Mount of Olives. He will enter into Jerusalem from the eastern gate, and there He will rule and reign from Jerusalem and from the temple that He will establish during the 1,000-year reign on earth. That's what we have to look forward to. Let's let the Scriptures give us the final authority on the Temple Mount. Till next week, Od Kiev O Shiloh, or until Messiah comes, Yivareka Yahweh. Yahweh bless you, bless those you love, and Yahweh bless those who love you.